Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. It is a minute early, but we have already got people joining us on Facebook, and it looks like people are joining us very quickly on Zoom as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. We appreciate you joining us so bright and early on a Monday morning. We know that it's hard to schedule these things in on a work day, so we appreciate you taking the time to join us. My name is Megan McFall. I'm the director here at USU Spark, as well as the regional director for the SBDC down here in southeastern Utah. We appreciate our partnership with Grow with Google and the opportunity we have to share this information, as well as our co-host today is the Rural Online Initiative here in Utah, as we move forward and show you this incredible information, whether it is for your personal business or whether you have a website to showcase your information, whether that's a portfolio to look for jobs or whatever that might be. Your analytics for that website is going to be really, really important as you move forward. So we really want this information to be helpful to you. So as we go throughout this, please go and ask whatever questions that you have. If you're on Zoom, I would love for you to break in and talk to me directly. I do teach 3 classes on Monday, and I get really tired of hearing my own voice. So I love when you guys get on and interact with me. It helps kind of break up the monotony of the same classes over and over. So I really appreciate that. It also, if you're thinking or asking that question to yourself, I'm sure there's somebody else in that class that's asking that. If you're joining us on one of the live social media feeds, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. Go ahead and put that in the comments. I will go back through after I teach and go through and answer all of those questions. It does take me a minute to go back through all the comments and things and get all of those answered, but I will go through and answer those. If I miss any of them, go ahead and either email me or ask them again. I go through those questions throughout the day and make sure that those get answered. So please take the time. Also, as I was looking through the registrations, I noticed we have people joining us from all over the place. I noticed some UK and some Canada emails and things like that. Put in the comments where in the chat as well, where you're joining us from. I'd love to know where people are joining us from, so I have an idea of kind of where the different businesses are. Also tell us what industry you're in, so that I have an idea. So I mostly focused in southeastern Utah. We're huge in the tourism industry. So a lot of my examples will come from the tourism industry or my own background, which is in wealth management and e-commerce. And so those are the ones that I will use the most. However, if I know what businesses are in the workshop, then I can more direct those to your specific businesses. So feel free to put those in the comments in the chat so that I can follow those along and try and make it very specific to you. So let's go ahead and get going for today. I appreciate everybody joining us. Let's go ahead and get going. So when it comes to business or whatever you might be doing online, data makes your briefcase heavy. Having insight makes you rich, right? Having the information builds your confidence and knowing exactly where you're going and what you should do, whether that be in marketing and where you should spend your money, or who your ideal client is and how you should direct your decisions in making your business. So to unlock new opportunities, you need to have true insights. You must have the novel, the credibility, and actionable insight. So let's go and break those down. So data is facts and statistics to reference. Your analytics are the patterns and the trends that we're seeing within your website and the trends within your different categories of your business. And then last but not least is the insights, and that's actionable value that you can take action on to make a difference within your business. By taking all 3 of those, you can have a big impact on the decisions that you make moving forward, whether, for example, where to put your money when you're making advertising decisions and things like that, okay? So our agenda today, if I can get my slide to move forward. Our agenda today, we're going to do an intro into the Google Analytics. We're going to find the answers with reports. We're going to interpret those reports, and then we're going to use Google Analytics with other Google tools to show you how they all work together and why they're important to work together to help you make decisions within your business. And then last but not least, we're going to recap and talk about some other resources that you can utilize. Okay, so a note about Google Analytics. Back in October 14th of 2020, if you've been using Google Analytics for a long time, they actually made some changes. They not launched a new version of Google Analytics. Okay, the previous, so this presentation is kind of going to go on the old version. They have not come out with a new version, a new presentation for the new version. However, the presentation that I'm going to show you today is still relevant to the information that you're going to get on your analytics. So don't feel like that's going to be incorrect and that you're wasting your time. You're still going to get the same information. They've just launched a different version. So if things are slightly different, go ahead and ask questions if you're confused. Or you're going to say, oh, that makes sense, or that follows along what you're seeing on your analytics. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So an introduction to Google Analytics. Google Analytics is free. It's a service provided to you by Google. Okay, it's a software that you can use to understand the visitor behavior to your website and mobile app. So basically, it shows you all of the behavior of somebody that's going onto your website, how long they were there, what pages that they view the most, what's your click-through rate, all of that information, and it'll help you make decisions based on that, okay? Using Google Analytics will help you gain valuable insight that will help you make strategic business decisions, okay? It'll give you things like learning the search terms, okay? Using the demographic information, understanding what content your audience is interested in, because they don't want to waste time creating content that they're not, and then evaluating which channels are driving people to your website. So it might be your social media, but then again, it might be just Google search, and you might want to focus on that. So figuring that is going to be really important. Okay, so if you're not set up on Google Analytics yet, I encourage you to do it. That'll help you know that information. And in order to do that, first you need to obviously sign into your Google account. So if you have a Gmail account like that, you can go ahead and sign into that, and you'll have access to all the Google applications. So if you go google.com, and up in the top corner, you'll have a sign in. You sign into that using the same username and password you use for your Gmail account. So you can go and you sign into that. Then you can go to g.co/analytics and get started by linking your website into that. If you have a business email for that and you've linked all of your Google My Business and all that to that, I encourage you to use the same one and put everything on the same email. So if you've started it with one email and then went to a business email, well, I encourage you to use the same email for all of your Google My Business, your analytics, all of that stuff. So just be conscious of that. Okay, so once you're there, it's going to ask you some questions on linking up your email or your website, ask you for terms and conditions. Basically, because they are going and they utilize your site and they're evaluating your site, you have to tell them, yes, I agree to that. So they'll ask you that. Then from there, this is basically your homepage for your Google Analytics. It's kind of an idea of what the back office looks like. So here you can review your reports and your matrix for your website. You can do a quick health check of your account and then create customized dashboards that will show you exactly what you're looking for pertaining to your business, because every industry is going to be a little bit different of exactly what they're looking for. For example, a service-based business versus a product-based business is going to be looking for different things. And having the ability to customize what you're looking for is going to be very important. Okay, so finding the answers with reports. So I want you to meet Eva and Ricky. Okay, Eva and Ricky have got to make some decisions about a new t-shirt design. So they're going through, and when you first launch a product, you kind of go off gut instincts, right? So when they first launched this t-shirt design that they absolutely loved and adored to put on their website, they went off their gut instincts. So the price that they put up was a gut instinct. Their target audience is a gut instinct where they said it was women ages 35 to 44 was going to purchase this product. Everything that they thought about was gut instinct. So then they launched this product on their website and put it out there, out to the world. Okay. So They started using the data analytics that came in as the product was out there. And so the step one, the online goals. What are the online goals for whatever you're doing on your website? Every single class we do, we talk about setting goals for performance. Whether it is creating your website, it's creating your website ads, things like that. Is something currently shared? So yes, you should be seeing a shared screen. Is everybody else seeing just a white screen? I just want to verify before I go across. Okay, so it looks like, I'm sorry, it looks like it's the problem on your end. Everybody else is getting the slides. So I'll also upload this on YouTube after we get the edited version so that you can rewatch it with the slides. I apologize for that, but you should be getting slides. Okay, sorry about that. So everything you do online, you need to have performance measures and decide what is your performance and what are your goals of that, what you're going to do. So first step is setting those goals. Okay, try and decide what you want to achieve. Obviously, if you're launching a product, you want to sell that product, but what does success look like? Is there a certain number you want to achieve, or is there a certain level of engagement that you're looking to get? Is there a certain number of appointments you're trying to set? Those type of things need to be set so you know whether you're coming up and you're achieving what you want to achieve with that site or with that product. Okay, the next one is ask the questions. What answers do you need in order to be successful? And then the third is view your reports. Okay, how can you find the answers to this information to make sure that you're succeeding or you're where you need to be? Okay, so defining your goals. I always talk about SMART goals. SMART goals need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. Okay, when you're putting your goals online, you want to make sure you follow this so that you know if you're doing something that's not working, that you can make those adjustments and fit within your criteria for your business so that you're not wasting time or money, so that you make sure that you stay within what you need to do. So keeping that in mind, for example, Ricky and Eva's goals were to increase the shopping cart decrease the shopping cart abandon rate by 60%. Their goal had nothing to do with the product. They thought people would want that product so much that they would decrease their shopping cart abandon rate. Okay, so you can set goals like that and have a product be a driving factor. You just need to make sure that you know what your goals are to make sure that you're achieving them. Okay, so what are your goals? Make sure there's things like leads, appointments, sales, phone calls, foot traffic into your store if you have a brick and mortar store, engagement on your website, downloads if you have like an ebook or a flyer of some sort that you're either giving out or that they're purchasing, those type of things. Okay, so ask the question, reach. Who is your audience? Who's your ideal audience for that particular product or service? Or maybe it's your overall engagement. Can your visitors find the answers that they're looking for within your website, or where are they finding that at? And then convert. Do your leads become actual customers? Do those that are coming to your site, do they actually purchase or book an appointment, whatever that looks like to your business? And then sustain. Are your customers becoming loyal to your business? Those are the 4 things that you want to be looking for. Okay, what are people searching for? That's something that's going to be very, very important. It goes back to that SEO and trends and the categories in which your products and services are falling under. Who is your audience? Again, the ideal client for your product or service. And then how are they finding you online? Are they finding you online through social media? Are they finding you online through Google search? How are they finding you and how are they finding your website? Those are important things to know. Okay, engagement questions to be asking. What do people do once they find you? Do they kind of look through your website? Are they on your website for 4 seconds and then click off? What's the bounce rate look like? Okay. Where do your customers engage with you online? Do they engage with you on social media, or do they engage with you maybe on your website through a chat, through email? What does that look like? Where's the engagement at? And then how do people interact with you online? Okay, what does that interaction look like? Okay, and then conversion questions. Okay, what channels drive conversion? Is the conversion rate higher through the YouTube channel, maybe because they saw the product and they saw the demonstration, or they've developed a relationship with you in some way through your videos, through YouTube? Something to think about. Okay, what call to action drives the most conversions? Okay, and then what channels have the higher return on investment? Those are things you're going to want to track as you're moving forward. So again, it goes back to that marketing question. Where are you going to focus your marketing dollar? Because every business, no matter how big it is, marketing dollars are finite. Whether it's $1 million budget or a $10 a week budget, marketing dollars are finite, and you want to make sure that you are putting it where you're going to get the most return on investment. And then sustainability questions. Do your people continue to engage, and where? Okay, do you respond, and how quickly? A lot of people don't know that your analytics, whether that is on social media or on your website, has a little bit to do with your ability to respond quickly. Okay, and then do you give your people a reason to return to shop with you, to work with you, to become that raving fan of your business? Okay. Using reports to find the answers, real time happening. One of the changes as of that October of 2020 was that you can see real time action within your analytics. So you can go on your back office and see what's happening right this second. So if you launched a product or launched a sale, say one of the biggest days of the year for shopping is Black Friday. If you launch something big like that, or Cyber Monday, you want to be seeing exactly what's going on as it's going on, if it's a dud sale, or if it is actually going to make you an incredible amount of money. You might want to be on right then so you can watch the progress, and you can watch that real time. Okay, audience, who is visiting your website? What's the background demographic? Where are they at? What's the age range? Different things like that right there. Okay, acquisition, where do they come from? Okay, behavior, what do they do once they get to the site? Okay, and then the conversion. Is the website successful? That is the key. We're all here to make money and support our families in some way, shape, or form. Is that conversion successful? Okay, so what's happening in real time in your business? So you can watch the goal completion and then test. So you can go and want it real time, like I talked about, but you can also make changes and see if those changes make adjustments in real time and see exactly what's happening. Okay, you can monitor immediate flow on your site and get from new content. So like I said, you can get on there and realize something's not working, go and make a small adjustment on your website, launch that out, push that out, and then you get on your analytics and see exactly how that's affecting your customer base. Okay, and then you can determine if the promotion drives traffic. Again, going back, is this sale or is this promotion exactly what your business is looking for right now, or does it need to be adjusted? Okay, who is visiting your site? Under the demographics, it's going to show you who is visiting your site, the characteristics of your users, the demographics, the interests, the languages, the devices that they're using. All of those different information is going to be extremely important for you moving forward as far as figuring out, okay, what kind of products are best suited for my business if you're a product-based business, or what type of marketing dollars, where do I need to spend my marketing dollars? So on this particular one, their best bet is males 25 to 35. They might have thought that their ideal client was female 34 to 44. If that is the case, then they are in the completely wrong. If they're spending their advertising on female 34 to 44, they're in the completely wrong sector and they're not getting the best ROI. So they realize very quickly they need to make a shift by watching their analytics. Okay. Acquisition, where do your customers come from? Understanding where your unique users are coming from is going to be important. And then recognizing the patterns that they have once they are online. What are they looking for? What are the trends? What are the categories? Okay. And then finding out how people are finding your site. Okay. Whether that is through social media, through searches, whether it's straight onto your site, original use, things like that. Okay. And then behavior, what do they do once they get on your site? Are they watching your videos if your videos are on the site? Are they clicking off within 3 or 4 seconds? Are they actually looking through multiple pages? What are their behaviors? But also, what is the effective sales funnels and conversation funnels within your site that is getting them to continue on and getting more information? Those are important things to know as you're moving through and developing your sales funnels. And then last but not least, your conversion rate. Is your website successful? Okay. See how all of your channels are working together and creating conversations, and then understanding how changes can impact those conversations. If you're having a lot of abandoned carts, figuring out where they abandon their cart at. Is it at step 4 or step 6? Okay, a lot of people don't realize if you have more than 4 steps on a cart on a checkout process, you're going to have a higher abandon rate because a lot of people think this is too much work. I can go to another site and do it in 3 steps. Why am I sending 6 steps to go through and check out the process? How can you simplify your checkout process to reduce your abandoned carts? Things to think about when you're creating, and we go a lot into that, into making your website work for you. Okay. How new versus returning. Knowing your new versus returning rate will show you whether your customers are becoming those loyal fans. I call them raving fans. That kind of shows you my old school and how old I am. But are your customers becoming those loyal customers? Are those customers becoming those word of mouth customers that are going to drive more traffic to your business? And that's the ultimate goal. You want them to come back and repeatedly buy from you, but you also want them to be the ones that say, oh my gosh, this is the most incredible product, or I worked with this business coach and they were absolutely incredible. They helped my business, they increased sales, whatever you do in order for you to be successful. Okay. That word of mouth advertising is priceless. It is absolutely incredible to have, and you want to know if you're achieving that. And so having your new versus returning is important to know and start building that as well. Okay, so based on analytics, we launched that product with Ricky and Eve on gut instinct. So our top audience we thought was 35 to 44, and it was primarily female. What our analytics showed us, the top audience was 25 to 34, and it was primarily male. So again, your analytics will show you a lot. Okay, primary drivers for traffic we thought would be through paid ads on the website. Well, what really happened, it was actually organic searches that drove traffic, not paid ads. Very interesting. That will save you a whole lot of money knowing that it's organic searches versus paid ads. Okay. Most purchases are from repeat customers and not first-time visitors. This is what we thought on our gut instinct, right? Most purchases came from first-time customers to the site. Okay. Gut instinct versus real-time data. Having real-time data and knowing exactly what's going on, you can make those shifts in your business and make real decisions based on real data and adjust, saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of money in the end. Okay. Okay, interpreting reports. Whoops, double hit. Okay. A lot of it comes down to definitions. When you're talking to, whether it be a marketing firm or talking to somebody about your reports, if you don't know what a lot of the information, the definitions were, they can be confusing. When I first started into this kind of stuff, I was working with a marketing firm that created my website, and they're talking about all of these different words, and that they meant one thing to me and totally different thing to them. So I thought they knew what they were talking about, and I had no idea. it was gone. Okay. So make sure you understand the definitions of what your different marketing firms, or if you're going with somebody else to do some of this stuff, to understand exactly what's going on with your website and your analytics. It's because that is going to be an important aspect of you moving forward. Okay, so what is dimension? So dimension describes your data. Each dimension can give you a different value. Okay, and there are primary and secondary dimensions. So you want to make sure that you know what each of those mean and what they mean to your business. Okay, it's going to be very important. Okay, using secondary dimensions, you can click the report choice and then you can select primary, but you can also do the drop down menu and get your secondary dimension so that you have both information. Again, knowledge is power, and especially when it comes to your business, data and the information is so important, especially when making primary decisions. Okay, so filters. Filters are going to be really important to help you very specifically identify what you're looking for. Okay, so you can use filters to specify what you want displayed on your reports. Okay, these reports are going to be pretty much all inclusive so that it covers every industry, but you might not want something very specific on there because it doesn't mean anything to you. You might only want 3 or 4 things. You can filter out what you don't want. So you can go and create that filter so that you can get exactly what you're looking for and not waste your time looking through information that you don't need for your industry, or vice versa. You might need something very specific that's not on there that you need to pull up. Okay, so segments basically are subsets of analytics data, and it isolates segments that the analytics can respond to trends in your business. Okay. Knowing your segments is going to be important because you want to know the trends that are happening within your categories and within your business. Knowing which categories your products and services fall within and how those are affecting the searches and your SEOs is really important. We talked about that like 2 classes ago, I think. It falls into that same category. You're going to want to know those segments in which your business is falling in, and those trends. Those trends are really important. Okay, segments have users. Those are the people that interact with your website. Okay, sessions. It's basically the interactions broken down by user and then the group together. And then hits, interactions that during the section, but each page view is an event. And interaction. So and that's a lot of words, a lot of verbiage there, but basically it breaks everything down within your business so that, or within your website, so that you can figure out, okay, so this people have interacted with my website. This is the group of people that interacted with my website that is in this segment, and it just kind of breaks everything down. So in this particular group, it broke it down by age. You can segment it into different groups, but this, I'm showing you the age one here. You can do it by age, by gender, by location, by all kinds of different things. But this is a particular one, we did it by age. Okay, building new segments. So you can do new segments based on the needs of your business. So by doing that, you just go to this page, excuse me, the geo page, and then you can add a new segment by clicking the new segment, and then you name it what you want, and then it will start pulling that information. You hit save, obviously, and it'll start pulling that information so that, again, it goes back to what you're looking for your goals, and it'll start pulling that information for you through your website. Okay, so using analytics with other Google tools. So Google, one of my favorite things about utilizing the Google tools is they're all linked together and they can all build upon each other. So these are 3 of the Google tools, and they all link together and they build upon each other, right? So we have the Google Search Console, we have the Google Analytics that we've gone over today, and then we have Google Ads. By taking all 3 of these together and having them them linked together and you use them together, it'll help you make stronger decisions within your business. I talk all the time about using your analytics before you go in and making your ads. Now that is before you make any ad, whether it is on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn, you need to know the analytics of your business. You need to know what characteristics the people that are coming to your website are. You need to know what trends, what categories, all of those different things, so that when you go and create an ad, you could target your money into your ideal client so that you're not wasting any penny. You can really get the highest return on investment, because that's what's going to be so important to your business. Okay, so all of these three work together in unison so you can create the most powerful return on investment. Okay, why link to Google Analytics? So here's some reasons why. You want to learn what's happening with your users when they click on your ads. Okay, you want to know those details. It goes back to that behavior of your client. You want to target very specific users based on their previous behavior. You want to use advanced machine learning. So you want to have that AI product to help you target your ads and have a higher return on investment. And then as well, you want to understand organic traffic and the use of keywords to convert or not convert. So those are some reasons why you want to link your Google Analytics together. Okay, Google Analytics product linking. So in order to do that, you have to create your account for your products, obviously. And then in the analytics, you go up to your admin and then you select all products. Then you select the link button, and then you go through the products that you want linked to your analytics. Now, why would you want to do this if you have specific products and services? You want to know the analytics on your products and services so you know how the behaviors of each individual product is working within your website. Maybe you have a product that's not performing well and you don't know why. You can go into your Google Analytics and see the customer behavior around that product. Maybe it's a product that you can discontinue and not have that inventory. You can sell out and not have that cost of inventory. Or maybe you are running ads on the wrong demographic and you can make adjustments and see if that will increase those sales. Those are the small things that can be adjusted by linking your products to your analytics. Okay, so those are some small things. Recap what we went over today. So potential actions to move forward. You want to review creative. So respond to your audience demographic. So know who your audience and the demographic are, and then respond to that or represent that. Excuse me. Consider product changes. So based on your analytics, and if you've got your products connected to your analytics as well, you can make changes and tailor your merchandise to your demographic. I have a business that thought that their demographic was here in Utah and thought that was who was mostly purchasing their product. When we actually linked up their analytics and went through that, what we found out is their main product or their target audience is actually in Kansas. Totally different demographic. And by making small little changes, we actually increased their sales because we changed to the demographic in Kansas. It's very different from Utah. So those small changes makes a huge difference. Review the search queries and adjust bids and creative accordingly. I'm getting tongue-tied today. So by doing that, again, you can adjust to your clientele. You can adjust to your ideal market and increase your sales. Okay, and then consider offering promotions. When you know the details of your ideal client who's checking out your website, all of those details, then you can think, in order to get those raving fans, maybe I offer a loyalty program. I can bring them back if I offer 10% off if they become part of this program. And then you might build also your email list for future promotions later on. You start thinking about how you can create that ongoing, repetitive marketing that is not going to cost you as much money as putting out ads. And then you can encourage that repeat client list as well. Okay, so where do you go from here? You want to outline your goals. What do you want with your analytics? You want to outline those, okay? You want to ask the questions and get the answers that you're looking for. So if you don't have the answers, can't find the answers, find somebody who has them, okay? So, and then you can choose the tools that you're going to be using in order to be successful, and then you measure your results with the actions to line up with the goals that you set, okay? So if you're interested in learning more about business and marketing, Google has a little app called Primer. It gives you little 5-minute lessons a day, I guess you could say. Ultimately, it is a fun little tool. So if you enjoy something like that, feel free to download that and get that 5-minute lesson a day to help personalize and create that information. If you like classes like this, you can go to Google on Air and watch the on-demand classes, and they hold those over for 1 year. So you can go back and see all of the Google classes for 1 year. And then ultimately, if you were a teacher, a local business owner, job seeker, or developer, they have several different sections within the Google website or the Google Grow side that has a lot of information that's available to you as well there. So let's go ahead and open it up to questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, maybe. And I'll bring up the social media questions. If you've got any questions, if you're on Zoom, feel free to ask them live or put them in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the different social media platforms real quick. And go ahead and answer those questions through. Don't be shy. Okay, so I have a question asking, how does the analytics work with Google My Business? So ultimately, they can be linked together. Obviously, you have to give permission for that, but they can be linked together so that they are essentially, they work harmoniously together, and they will help you essentially show exactly what's going on within your business. It'll show you the Google search information. It'll show you all of that stuff so that you can see the full background of your business. So before, I always encourage people, before Google, putting yourself and creating your profile on Google before you link everything else together is something that I encourage you to do. So you have that dashboard and everything set up. A lot of people don't know that they can actually go and create their profile on Google and know and control what is put out there for their Google profile, but as well as Google Maps. So whatever is searched on Google Maps, you can control that. In fact, it's, as your business owner, you have a lot of control over what's there. If you don't control it, somebody else will. And they basically, Google will pick up different addresses and different businesses as they come across, whether somebody has asked for it or claimed it or not. And so I'd recommend that if you have a business, that you go and you claim that and get that set up and you verify that that is your business. That way you can control that. A lot of business don't know. Again, Google, because of COVID, went and shut everything down at one point or another, depending on the local rules and guidelines. And a lot of businesses have not gone and reopened their business on Google. So they're missing out on a lot of business based on Google Maps because it says that they're temporarily closed. So go and do that. Check and see what kind of information is coming up on your business. And if it has not been declared, or you have not gotten that and utilize that service, please do, because a lot of that information is not necessarily correct. We had some addresses wrong. We found, obviously, a lot of business saying they're closed because of COVID when they're not closed anymore. Our state opened up, was one of the ones that opened up really early or had a lot of lighter restrictions, I guess you could say. And so we were able to open up a lot of our businesses based on our local restrictions, and a lot of them said they were closed. And so make sure that you take some time to look at that and make sure that it is up to date. Also look at the pictures. that are listed on your business. They might not be the pictures that you want to be the forefront of your business. So it will also, the analytics will also pull the searches off for your searches there, as well as the maps, and it will show in your insights on your Google My Business. So that's important. That's also where Google My Business, where you can put your products up to be searched on Google. So that'll another place where you can link up those products and get that information. So lots of classes linked together right there. What else we got? So if you've already got, getting a question about, they've already got their business, their website linked up to Google My Business, they've just never logged into it. So if that's the case, you probably had a marketing firm or somebody like that link that up for you. You need to make sure that you have control and you have access over that. And so you can go to the same website and put your business in. It'll say somebody else has control. You can request control over that. Hopefully that marketing firm would give you access to that. That's just it's a process to go through, but you need to get control over your analytics and be one of the users. If you do have a marketing firm that does that process and then emails that to you, that's okay, but always make sure that you are the owner of your analytics. It's a very, very big key thing. When it comes to like Google and stuff like that, you can share your information, and that's an incredible thing. It makes it so much easier to run your business, but always make sure that you maintain ownership of all of that, and you are the only owner. So you can have administrator, I think it's administrator, so they can go in and they can do reports and they can do whatever they need to do. But the one thing that they can't do is remove you as the owner. If they are listed as owner or co-owner, then they can remove you. And you don't want that. You want to always maintain ownership of your stuff. And so regardless of what platform you're on, if it's Facebook, the same thing. If you have a group in Facebook for your business, always remain that you're the only owner. Everybody else can have administrative and do what they need to do, but you need to maintain that you are the only owner so you don't get kicked off and lose that, because that's where a lot of businesses hurt themselves and have to, for lack of a better term, purchase back their analytics. Or they go through a lot of heartache and stress trying to get that back. What do you do if you are not the owner of? You can go through that process. A lot of people don't know that can happen. So you can go through and request to get that changed and have you put back on the owner list from the marketing firm. I had that same problem before I knew. You just have to make that switch over and start that process. And hopefully the marketing firm that you're using plays nice and makes that happen. 90% of the time, that's what's going to happen. It's just those few times that it doesn't happen that it makes it hard. It's really, really hard when you work with a company and they do that so that they maintain their sales. And I hate when companies do that. It's not right. It's not right when they do it. You can petition Google to get that. It's a process, and I don't know all of the information on what that goes through, but I do know that people have petitioned Google to get their business back from another company like that. It's just a long process, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it. So, are there any other questions? How do you create custom reports just for you? So every business is going to be different, and you're going to use the filter feature to create your custom reports. And you can even on your dashboard, you can create that and make adjustments on your dashboard so that when you come in, you can see exactly what you need to see. And it's just a matter of figuring out exactly what is custom for your business and what you need to see immediately to be effective. If you need more information on that and more details on that, the best thing to do is actually just set up an appointment with me, and we will go through that because every business is going to be a little bit different, and that's a really long explanation of showing you all of those details. So I think that is it. So unless there's any other questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap up there. I appreciate everybody joining us today. Analytics is one of those things that has so much information in it. A lot of it, I just encourage you to get started. Once you get started and you start looking at it and you get into the process of doing it, it will kind of change how you look at it, and it'll add more information. And don't be afraid of it. A lot of people, it's like, it's just so much, there's more information there. Don't be afraid of it. It's one of those things that you just need to start. So get in there and pick 3 things that you're going to learn about your website every week, or and start tracking those 3 things every week. And then once you get that down and you kind of see the trends on that, add another thing and another thing until you feel comfortable with it. That's kind of the key when it comes to analytics. Start slow and build your way up until you feel comfortable. And that's going to be the important part of it as you develop your analytics and your website and that whole flow and get into paid ads and items like that. So I really appreciate everybody joining us today, and look forward to seeing you guys all next week. And have a wonderful Valentine's Day. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.